Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
Laugh Out Loud is a place to go where Barrett has decided to join the BM show. So we want to take a moment to welcome Barrett from the BM Squared to the show tonight.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, Barrett? Welcome to the program.
Now, Barrett is very talkative tonight. Like always.
Hi.
Good.
There he is. Okay. I can see your microphone worked. All right.
All right, so we got quite a bit to go over here tonight. So we're going to be talking about, the topic tonight will be our favorite YouTube channels. We're also going to do, after that, reviews of The Terminal and The Search for Animal Chin. And then a reminder, next week is the main event. Ben and I go head to head in Stay Cool Kobayashi-san, except we're not going to really, like,
We're going to go head to head in a battle where we're on the same side.
exactly.
We're
going to go
co-op.
head-to-head co-op to see who can, I don't know, not die first. So we'll see how that one goes. And at that point, we're going to make a decision. Is that game crap or is that game severe crap? We will find out.
Yes. We will hopefully give the answer that people are hoping we give. We don't have to keep doing this game.
Exactly. One time, that's all it's going to take.
Yep.
So we're going to jump in tonight. We got a couple things that we're going to go over before we get to the topic. Probably saw this one coming after last week. So we are going to open with the fact that one of my windows is gone. Well, this is not good.
It isn't good. Let's talk the whole 2-hour program about.
Yeah, it's not letting me share my window for some reason. So
We're
we're going to have to do this a different way. All right. So, oh wait, there we go. Now it's appearing. Okay. Boom. It's time for the Bloomin' News.
Bloomin' News.
It's time to bloom. So I'm going to try something a little bit different this time. I'm going to throw in, just for fun, I'm going to throw in somewhere in this talk a lyric to one of their songs. It could be something that's obvious. It could be something that's not. Hey, if you hear it and you recognize it, you throw in the comments that you found it. I'll let Ben know what it is, so when he edits the videos, he doesn't cut it out. So let's get started, because their world tour has just started. As of today was their first concert out in Dubai.
Did all the people in the audience turn their backs to them?
Well, I don't know, because I wasn't there for that one.
Well, you would think that would, if that happened, someone's going to talk about that.
That would probably make the news. Yes, I haven't seen anything about that. However,
hasn't that happened at like some K-pop show where like the whole audience, like they turn their back on one group?
I want to say that did. I don't remember who it was, though.
I do remember hearing about that, where it was like, I think it was like a boy group or something. They did something that they found disrespectful, and they only did it like when like certain members were singing. It was something weird. Well, anyways, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I don't remember what it is. Maybe it was Tiara.
Well, then, like, why would you go to the show unless it's going to be like? Well, I mean, this one, the BINI, they're not going to do it at this BINI show because you're going to see them. But like, this would be like if you went to like a variety show and they just happen to be one of the acts.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about, because we got to talk about that scandal that happened, because the official page maintained radio silence up until Wednesday, and then they did something really, really smart. They posted 3 things. The first thing was a video of international fans going crazy for the fact that the group was coming to the area, because what unites crazy fans, but watching other crazy fans getting excited. The second thing they did was they shared a video from another one of the fan pages. It was kind of like a video of this is where we started, this is where we are now. The third thing they posted, this was actually really, really smart, was this right here, which was the group held a mass prior to leaving. And being that the Philippines is very Catholic, and after what happened, this was actually probably one of the best moves they could do, because it shows kind of a turning point for them, because they really haven't really shown like their religious side. So this might actually be a change within the group. So I'm curious to see what happens now, to see if they do some sort of shift going forward in their music or not. But it was like night and day all of a sudden. All the bad all the bad comments were just gone, and everything was just, cheery, cheery, happy. Let's go BINI type of comments, which is pretty awesome to see that they're moving on, the group staying together, and they still have that fan base. Another thing that's happened for them is, well, there recently Forbes put out the 30 under 30 age of 2025. And did they make the list in the entertainment section? Well, let's take a look. And look at that. We don't have to look any further. Not only did they make the list, but they are basically the poster picture for the page. So that's awesome. The girls are coming out in style. And
So is it starting to look like did this didn't really hit them as hard as people were expecting it to?
it didn't. I mean, this helps them too, because now they're like, if we go down, they're the first ones listed in the entertainment section.
Oh, look, they beat out Shaza.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of these people.
So that's actually pretty big for them. So everything was looking up. They also stepped up and decided it's time to put out a dance performance for Zero Pressure, which ever since the Beanieverse album landed, this song's been well talked about and been getting quite a bit of airplay. So they have video for it, which, if we go back to what happened with Pantropico, which is also just kind of like a dance performance, that thing exploded. So, who knows what's going to happen here, but it's good to see it because this is a darn good song. So now that they're on the world tour, we're probably not going to hear a whole bunch other than seeing them in places and having them explore the world. But keep in mind, look in your area, see if they're coming to the area, see if there's tickets still available. If so, I recommend going. So that's everything we have for the Bloomin' News today.
Cool.
Quick and easy. So with that out of the way, one more thing that we got to talk about is saving money. For all you gamers that come here to find out ways to get things for free or cheap, this is your moment. So let's go to sharing again. And there we go. Ben, can you contact Adam Sandler?
Oh, yeah. Epic Games.
Yeah, for some Epic Games.
Epic Games.
Let's talk about what's free on Epic Games this week, which is interesting because
Oh, saved during the, I'm about to say, is there going to be Red Dead Redemption 2? That would be awesome. Okay.
no, but I'm glad Barrett's with us for this. The first thing that's free on Epic Games, Dead Island 2 is free. And I'm waiting for Barrett to jump in here if he has anything to say about it. And I guess he's speechless.
He's so impressed, he's speechless. He has nothing to say about it.
So yeah, Dead Island 2 is free. If you want to pick it up, this is one that I believe you can online co-op. So if you actually have buddies in the world, this might be one to go and blast some zombies. Also, what?
I was gonna say it looks like it's in Los Angeles, but it looks more like it's in San Andreas more than Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's a peaceful game, so, you know, play with your friends. Also, their happy game, which I have no idea what this is. It looks like it's one of those just decides to be crazy type of games. But if you want to find out, save yourself the roughly $14, and leave a comment. Tell us what it is exactly.
Wasn't any good. Did you enjoy it? Did you think
Did
it
your
was
brain stay in your head or did it melt out playing this?
exactly? Was this a waste of your time? Did you play and say, "Oh my god, I would have paid money to play that." That's how good it was.
Now, for next week in Epic Games, they did it again because they don't like us spoiling it. This time they had mystery games, but they actually have 3 lined up. So those should be coming out on Thursday. So
Like, I think they're doing this just because they wanna get at you.
yeah,
They know you give all the big scoops here, and you're out scooping them.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling everybody what's coming when they can just go to Epic Games to see what's coming. And actually that makes kind of sense then because they wouldn't be getting the traffic that they'd want. So it's Epic Games versus me, and at this point, Epic Games just won because I have no idea what's coming.
Yep.
So that's it for Epic Games. Next up, we'll move to Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming threw out one of the games they threw out for free is Endless Legend Definitive Edition, which looks like it's a turn-based strategy type game. So if you're into planning out, like probably like I don't know what were some of those like Command and Conquer, Rampart, whatever the strategy games were, this might be something that you might want to pick up. They also have Saints Row Get Out of Hell,
And out of hell.
which is the upgrade to the Monopoly card about getting out of jail. If you have some friends, this one looks like it's multiplayer, cooperative, probably online. I don't know.
I think
But
what this was downloadable content for Saints Row 4. It was one of those, like, you know when they had those really big DLCs where it's pretty much its own game? That's what
well, now it is its own game, and you can get it for free off of Prime.
Yep.
Also on Prime Gaming, Blood Omen 2: Legacy of Kain. Now, I didn't say how much I love the first one. This one I'm not as big on, but you can't go wrong with free. So this is gonna be your action adventure, um, kind of like a beat 'em up, hack and slash, kill everything and drink their blood type of game. So if that's what you like doing on Friday nights, you can do it for free now through Prime Gaming.
You can go, yeah, instead of going out and drinking other people's blood, you could do it virtually, stateside,
Exactly.
because you don't know what these other people have. They could have diseases.
Yeah. No more worrying about the dressing up for the goth parties. Just
Or
just play it right here for free.
yes. You can have your own party.
Also finally free on Prime Gaming is Mail Time. We
Mail time?
Yes, which is I think the prequel to Female Time. I don't know what exactly this is. It says platformer venture indie. I'm not sure.
Oh, they mean mail like as in the post. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I guess it's kind of my guess now is that you're going around through dangerous situations, jumping left and right to deliver the mail.
Mm.
So it's like, wasn't there a Zelda game where it's like that, where something you had to go mail things or things got mailed to you?
That was, there that thing they did a couple times. One of them is you have to help the mailman deliver letters, and that's in, Majora's Mask, and then the other one, the one you're talking about, that has to do with the one with the islands, that's the Wind Waker. That one you could actually like, use the post office, like, you'd actually send letters and receive letters, and I think they carried that over to one of the other Zelda games, at least one of the other Zelda games. There's been so many games that, from the Zelda series I don't have a lot of time with,
Yeah.
you know?
So if someone thought that was so straight legit, they decided to break off a game themselves and to devote it all to the mail. And it is free. Get it on Prime Gaming. Let us know what you think.
I thought these guys never pissed off Nintendo, 'cause Nintendo would just be like, You know what? Make a game where Link does this and or make the Running Man. Have the Running Man do this and where he's delivering the mail and make it like a free DLC just to throw these people up.
So that's it for the free stuff. So now we're going to go to the bundle, starting with Humble Bundle. First one they have is the Team 17 Chains of Command. So this is pay $20 for all 8 of these titles. I'm not familiar with any of them. But if you got them on your watch list on Steam, hopefully, you know, at least one of them's more than $20, so it justifies buying all 8 of them. And, you know, maybe I've heard of this one and that's about it. But maybe you got some good games here. Also free on Humble Bundle right now is I'm guessing a T1D breakthrough.
Not free and for sale.
Oh, I'm sorry, for sale. Thank you for correcting me. So this is pay $10 for these 9 items. And they do have a Batman game, a couple of Batman games. It looks like Walking Dead, a couple of those. So
Oh,
there's
these are all those are those Telltale games where you're basically it's almost a choose your own adventure type of story. Yeah, it's very it's something where you could play it in like while you're doing something else because like the game, yeah, it doesn't do anything unless you do something. It's
yeah. So is it like a visual novel type of game?
yes, yes. It's like should you like you go and you click the mouse over and then you'll walk over to this one area and you'll start talking to somebody else. There's no real action scenes, or if there is like you make sure you have the stuff that you need and your guy will automatically do everything for you. It's
Gotcha.
if this I mean if the story is good. I did the one for Back to the Future.
Uh-huh.
And the Back to the Future one I thought was excellent because it actually was supposed to be it was a proposed script for Back to the Future Part 4.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, it was polished storytelling and everything made sense. There wasn't like, "Well, how did this happen?" You know, it's everything was explained. It was good.
Okay. So if you love story or you're just really bad at games and button mashing, $10 for 9 games, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and they do one of those things like where it saves the game for you after every single story beat.
Gotcha.
So if you kill your guy, you'll be reset like 5 minutes ago. That's it. You know, like you have to do like the last hour again, you know?
Mhm. That's good.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's it for Humble. For Fanatical has a build your own pedal to the metal bundle, 3 games for $13.49, which is interesting because I think when they posted this first, it was 3 for $9.99, and then it just kind of got bumped up, but still there's some really good deals on here. Um, First off, Red Out, $86 for the complete bundle, and I would say Red Out is awesome. So just that by itself, $86 game for $13, plus you get 2 more. That's an awesome deal. I actually got this and I picked up Agent Intercept. And I did pick up the Formula Retro Racing, even though it's in early it's in what is it, the early development, early access.
Mm.
It's been stuck in early access and is not going to ever get out of early access. There was still enough game for me to get my money's worth. But Asian Intercept, I recommend if you get this, definitely put Red Out in if you don't have it. Definitely put Agent Intercept in if you like action spy hunter type of stuff. It's not really racing, but it's got a whole lot of action to it. If you see any other things here, like here's another one, which are the Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 and 3. That thing itself is $63. Rims is $49. WRC 9 is $49. There's some
Everybody did a kart racing game.
yeah.
I'm not surprised there's one in here. I wish it was Sonic though, because if you're not gonna do Mario Kart, you want to do the Sonic the Hedgehog with.
But I mean, pretty much everything here, you're bound to save money just getting it by itself, and then you get 2 free games with it.
Yeah.
So this is an awesome deal. Also on Fanatical is the Build Your Own Spring Superstars collection, which is 2 games for $15.
Well, that RoboCop game, if they're already in one of these, holy shit, that thing just came out.
Yeah. These are gonna be more expensive, but they're getting bigger names. Like you mentioned, RoboCop, Deathloop, Skyrim's in here, Ghostwire. there's some pretty big stuff in here.
Ghostbusters, the Ecto edition. Now, is that a new Ghostbusters game, or is that still the same Ghostbusters game that came out in, like, on Xbox 360 and they've just been repackaging it?
Not sure, but you could go to Steam and check it out and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but and I know Barrett, if he wasn't still speechless, he'd be jumping in here talking about Ghostwire. So there's some good stuff in here. So it breaks down to $7.50 a game. So you get some good stuff.
You could do RoboCop and Police Simulator, so you can pretend to be an actual cop or a futuristic cop in one
Well,
box.
here's what you could do. You could get Police Simulator and RoboCop, play Police Simulator until you fail and die, and then switch over to RoboCop.
There you go. Yes. But what if the first mission of RoboCop is?
You want to.
Well, what's the first mission of the new RoboCop game, though? You don't start off as Murphy, right?
I don't know. I never played it.
See, is it well, this folks, if you wanna help the show out, you can go and play all this, figure it out, and let us know in the comments, and then we'll Mike loves going through the comments.
I do actually. That's where I learned about the protagonist for Star Wars.
Yeah, this entire time I thought it was the robots.
I see. Yeah, I thought the protagonist was the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon. The ship, yes.
Exactly. All right. So what else do we have? We have the Build Your Own Trinity Bundle, 3 games for $4.80. So these are probably going to be a lot more like indie games that you may not be familiar with. It's nice because you can always, with each one of these bundles, you can go down here and kind of scroll through them. Unless it's age restricted, like that one is, and get an idea if it's something that is going to be something you're interested in. But I mean, 3 for $4.80, that's $1.60 a game. Gets cheaper if you get more of them. I mean, if you get 3 games at $1.60 each and you put 5 minutes into it nowadays, that's pretty much getting your money.
Yeah.
So also there's the Build Your Own Supreme Collection, which is 2 games for $25.
Now here you go, you got the Tomb Raider Remastered Collection that literally just came out.
Yeah.
Is the other one in there too?
No, it's just that one.
Okay.
But these are ranging about $25 to $40 a piece, and you can get 2 of them for $25. That's not bad, as well as the more you get, the more you save. And
What is Critter Cove? It looks like that Critter Cove.
Critter Cove is, who knows? We could find out really quick. Critter Cove is an early access, doesn't tell us the genre type of game.
Oh, 'cause he looks like what's his name? He was one of those mascots from, like, the 90s. Crash Bandicoot,
Maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Not Crash Bandicoot, the other one where he was a cat. He did 2 of them.
Chester Cheetah?
No, no.
I know who you're talking about. Oh man, he did any Bugsby, I think. Bugsy?
Yes, and in fact, you can actually get I saw it, Bugsy has been re-released, and you can get it on the Xbox now, which means if it's on the Xbox, it's everywhere because Xbox gets everything last.
Yeah.
So but
So
what system that went and jacked their prices up is the one that is firmly in last place.
so if you've gotten through all of these and you're just PO'd because you looked at all these games and you don't want any of them, but you still have money that you want to get rid of, Fanatical also has the VIP Mystery Bundle, 5 games for $7.99.
And Mike loves these mystery bundles with their mystery keys, right, Mike?
I absolutely love these. It is so exciting to get something that I don't know what I'm getting and probably don't want what I'm getting, but I got it to clog up my Steam.
Do you remember when we were at the cave and they had those mystery bags with the 3 movies in them?
Mhm.
I'll probably do that again this trip too if we go there. But
That might be a little bit out of the way, but we'll figure out what we have time to do.
yeah, no, we're able to. Yeah, but like, I just remember, like, I opened it up, it was, like, one of the movies I actually cared for, so at least there it worked out for me, but yeah. It's the same thing here, though. They're just getting rid of keys that they can't sell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you'll get they'll have like one for the new King of Fighters game, or the one for the new Fatal Fury game, and then they'll have a bunch of them that they couldn't get rid of.
Yeah, it's like the Monopoly game at McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's prizes out there, just, you're probably not gonna get it.
Exactly. So that is everything for saving money this week. So go start saving. And that does everything before the topic end. So you guys ready to start talking about our topic tonight?
Yeah, this is an interesting topic we're doing tonight. We're doing the topic before the movie reviews so that Barrett can go do something else. Is that why?
Just in case Barrett needs to hop off because I know he has to work tomorrow early.
Okay.
So we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about favorite YouTube channels. And
YouTube. I never go on YouTube. I'm never there.
never, ever, ever.
Nope, I don't have a YouTube premium account that I never check the stats on because it's scary to look at.
Mhm. And I'm going to talk about probably starting with the first one that really got me thinking about this. And I know, Ben, you listen to this guy. Barrett, you may be familiar with him. And that would be Matt McMuscles. And I absolutely love a lot of the stuff on his channel. He does a lot of like some of what happened? How did this become such a train wreck? Which, which are always great because it's like I'll see the title of what it is. 9 times out of 10, it's something that I was never really interested in, but I'm curious about how things got as bad as they did with it. Also, another thing that I love that he does is he's doing the worst fighting game, and right now, as it stands, Pit Fighter is the king, the Pit Fighter from
Can you see my window?
it's a black screen.
It's still doing it.
Yeah, do you want me to bring up his channel?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. So you're gonna have to do the videos too. Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. So let me see what I can bring up here really quick.
I don't know why it doesn't work.
All right, so here we go. Let me go ahead and start sharing. Um, which should, okay, organize for this video, and there, that should have his channel appear.
There we go. All right, I see it.
Yep, it looks like it's showing the Suicide Squad what happened right now. But I'm really liking his worst fighting game because a lot of them, I'll be familiar with the fighting game that he's doing. A lot of them are ones that I might not have played, but just the way that he presents it, and he does this like purposely bad editing to it, where he cuts himself off a lot. It just makes me even more curious to actually find them and play them. And sometimes I'll see them and be like, yeah, I know that game. That game deserves to be one of the worst. So, and a lot of stuff is just super funny.
Mhm.
So I believe, Ben, do you listen to him as well too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not like, I subscribe to him. I'm not like a super fan. I don't like, but I do like this segment, what happened. I also like he did a crossover with one of the channels that I'm gonna mention. So okay. In fact, I can go right into it if that's what you want.
Go right ahead.
All right, can you look up OSW? This sucks. I can't do this myself. There we are, top one. OSW Review, the old school wrestling podcast. This is a show that's actually out of Ireland. These three guys, which okay, so I think they all work at a hospital. Two of them are doctors, and one of them is like one of the lab techs. I could be completely wrong, but they've mentioned many things over the years that got me thinking that that's what these guys do. And they must have met each other at lunch or something, and they found out they all like wrestling, and they became buddies. And they do this video podcast that they do a new episode periodically. It was like whenever a new one is done is when they do it, and they are like they have video for their entire show. Like we'll do like a 2-minute clip or whatever, or their whole show, they have video clips for us, and their shows can take forever, and also they have a lot of stuff that they get flagged for copyright, so they have to go re-edit it, put it back up, re-edit it, put it back up, or they have a law firm, they actually have lawyers, and they actually have their lawyer will call them and clear it up. But, I just every time that there's a new episode, like, I like, will sometimes even plan my day around watching it. And it's just guys having fun, they're just joking around, talking about what's ridiculous about certain things or what's good about it or whatever. But yeah, it's a good time. They had Matt McMuscles on. They did a crossover with, Baywatching, which is another one I'm gonna mention later, and it's just what I like to think people might look at our show as being. It's just a bunch of guys getting together and having a good time. So
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, Barrett, what you got?
Okay, so I have a lot of things that I subscribe to uh on YouTube. So I'm thinking it's maybe better to do category. Okay. I
well,
only
give
got-
give Mike something so he can throw it up on the screen.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Okay, try this first one. Splatter Cat Gaming. All one.
Bladder Cat Gaming,
Yes.
all one word.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, 1 second here. I'll do this kind of an easier way, hopefully. Is this one?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so this guy, his whole thing is that he just get whatever game, and sometimes there are big games, a lot of times they're indie games, and every single day he uploads a video where he showcases a game. And they're usually like 30 minutes to 45 minutes long. He'll show the intro, he'll show like kind of what an average mission or level or whatever is like, and he'll talk about it. And it's honestly been for me way better than any kind of reviews, way better than going to like IGN or anything, really. Right. And so most of the games I've played in the last several years have been ones that I found through this guy.
Gotcha. So, like, what games have you found through him?
So like I don't even know what it's called. I can't remember offhand. But there was a Chinese game that I found through him that was really amazing. I mean, obviously no one on the podcast's gonna know, but privately, like I told you about it like months ago. And it wasn't quite your thing, but it was this really interesting strategy game. It had a very 8-bit like NES aesthetic, but it was the ultra deep strategy game. And so like I found that through him. What else? Bunch of other like smaller games.
Does he do like specific genres? Does he stick to like specific genres?
No, he does literally everything under the sun.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, okay. So I also found 2 space games that I really like through him. And I think one of them, the more recent one, was called Starcom Nexus. And they were just bizarre, very strange, but really intriguing games. Like they they were kind of like choose your own adventure books, but
We seem to have a thing for choose your own adventure.
yeah, yeah, it was. I mean, I say that as a shorthand, but obviously it's more involved than that.
Yeah. And when we say that we mean that as a genre, because you can go and say, "Well, you're like a game. All games are choose your own." Every game is choose your own adventure. It's like, well, we mean like it fits like the genre of books that were around when we were kids.
Yes, yeah, and I say that mostly because this one was a very indie game, and so there's a lot of tech stuff. There's a lot of times where you fly your ship over, and then you go near some planet, and then the people for that planet will be like, "Hey, before you can land here, you gotta," they would hail your ship basically, and it would be like a text thing, right? So it kind of felt like a choose your own adventure book because they would give you all this text and you read and you get to decide like how you would go through it.
Mm.
And then, but what was cool though was that you didn't always know what would happen, right? And it was based also on how you trained your crew. And so you could like train your crew to be more diplomatic or more aggressive or whatever. And that might affect then how things play out in the little dialogue tree. And then also further, depending on how that plays out, it affects the whole world state. And so you got to be careful because, like, you make entities with one planet, you don't know what they get up to when you're or not around. Like, they might talk with the other planets, and then suddenly they form a coalition against you, and you're going at some other end of the galaxy, and all of a sudden you get ambushed by like a massive wave of enemies, and it turns out it was like 18 different planets that you pissed off, all like ganged up on.
Hmm.
So that's what I mean by the other part of what I said, which is that it is actually shockingly deep, even though it sometimes feels like a choose your own adventure book. It's like consequences and how they play out is very deep. I
Mm.
could never have thought about it if not for that.
Yeah, I don't think I ever read a choose your own adventure that went that deep.
Oh no! It's the books are meant for like little kids and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So they could more like taking the mechanic of that, but then asking like, okay, how do we update this for adults?
Mm, yeah.
Cool.
All right. So, anything else you want to add for that one, Barrett? Okay. So my next one is going to be for one that's been popping up a lot on my like when I go to YouTube, and he's very similar to another podcast that maybe Ben might mention. If not, I will mention a little later, to where he kind of points out that he's not that person, and that would be Slopes Game Room.
Hello, you.
That's not him.
I know.
So okay, so I mean, we could just throw in Gulu Larry at this point too, because Larry is awesome as well. But the as Gulu Larry does a lot of the good history behind
Yes.
the
Yeah.
game, amazing good history behind the games. Slopes does a lot of that too, but what's been catching me a lot with him is things like this: Kickstarter's biggest fails.
I've watched so many of those videos. Actually, I was just the other day trying to watch this Asterix, the history of the Asterix games, and I could not give two flying fucks about Asterix. I'm like, I'm trying to care. I don't care.
Uh, Well, for me, the Kickstarter things that he's been putting out, they're great because I've done Kickstarter, and literally with Kickstarter, I think I'm at a 10% chance that the Kickstarter I'm backing is going to fail and I'm gonna get nothing. And I don't know anyone who has that bad of luck with Kickstarter.
I've
So
lucked out with Kickstarter. I've never had it where I mean, the only thing that I mean, like when I say lucked out, Shenmue 3, I guess you can count that as being lucky because they actually did deliver on the thing that I ordered. It's just that the thing that I ordered was $60 when I put the money down, and it was $30 when it went to the store shelves. They were selling it for $30, and I paid 60 for it. Yeah, they slashed the price because they knew it was gonna suck, and it did.
yeah. And you may see that he may have covered that on one of his Kickstarters, scams or fails. So, but yeah, he does a lot of he's kind of like Gulu
Guru
with a
Larry.
little bit more fun added.
Yeah.
Gulu Larry is not fun because he's actually really fun and his videos are really informative. Slopes just has that little bit of, I don't know if I want to say sarcasm-ish to him um just I don't know what the term would be.
I like the complete histories. Those you can, like, put them on and, like, have them run one right after the other, and it just like depends on what they're covering. Like I said, the asterisk one I didn't care less about, but there were certain games where like the complete history was like it was interesting to watch. Like Burger Time, you know, Burger Time was actually a favorite game of mine back in the day. And of course Pac-Man, but
I'm gonna bring up Guru Larry just because since we've also been mentioning him.
hello you.
Yeah, he's famous for that. So you'll know a Gulu Larry video just by that. You're probably already like, I know that voice.
Yeah.
So he's another one to definitely listen to for a lot of information on what's gone on inside the industry.
I mean, then there's him, and like, I mean, there's a whole bunch of gaming channels. We can do a whole episode just on gaming alone. There's so many, but I don't want to do all of them. We can talk about like Stop Skeletons from fighting. Then we're in the stuff that he covers, and yeah. Okay,
All right. So next up, Ben, what do you have?
I have Allison Pregler, which I sent you a message on how to spell her name.
Did you? Okay. Well, I didn't get the message.
Oh,
So
okay. It's Allison is one with one L,
got it.
and Pregler is Pregler.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I nail this one. Right here.
Yes. Now, if she used to be Obscurus Lupa, as it says right there in her Fateless her link, and she used to be on Channel Awesome with the Nostalgia Critic. She didn't like do shows with him. She had her own show, but she's I don't know if you ever heard like the whole thing that happened with that channel, but they had a whole blow up where a bunch of people left the channel, and she was one of the people who left the channel. So what I found her from was actually through OSW. OSW did a crossover with her where she was doing a series called Baywatching. And in Baywatching, she watches episodes of Baywatch and she reviews them.
Mhm.
And they went and they did a crossover with one of the Baywatching episodes with OSW, and from that I learned about this ridiculous Baywatch show that I've heard about my entire life but never really looked into. And she just shows how stupid Baywatch is and how they don't take there's no topic that they can't ruin. Midgets, you name it. They shit on everybody. Unintentionally. Their writers suck.
So it's kind of like the Zach Morris's trash channel then.
Yes, they're exactly. Instead of doing Zach Morris's trash, he's doing Baywatch's trash. And on top of that, it'll also do episodes of like Charmed is one of her shows, which I don't really care about. But the other one she does is she does all the Star Trek shows.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll pick like Star Trek's most racist episode,
Mm-hmm.
shit like that. And yeah, so it's interesting. She got an interesting take on stuff. And yeah, I think it's definitely if you're into pop culture, you're listening to us. If you want some more pop culture in a unique way with television and movies, check out Allison Pregler.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right, Barrett.
Okay, so my next one is Corridor Crew. 2 words.
Corridor Crew.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can get that.
Corridor like a hallway and a crew like a group of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one right here.
Yeah. So I highly recommend them. So these are a bunch of people who are like main top visual effects people in Hollywood.
Is this the one where they go and they find a movie that's like an older movie and they redo the special effects?
They have done that sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the cool things is that so this is kind of their side hustle thing, right? Like, they're working on all the main movies by day, but then by night they have this whole YouTube channel. And one of the things that's cool about it is that they have several ongoing series, and one of them is the one that you mentioned, Ben. And then they have other ones where they talk about like, okay, just this new movie came out or the show or whatever. How did they do this stuff? And they make it so that it's very clear to anyone how this stuff was done. And then they also sometimes will invite the actual people who did it in. So like you see there the thumbnail where they redid the effects from the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, and they actually brought the effects people from ILM in, and and they're like, hey, and these people are long retired now, right? But they like brought them back, and they're like, how did you guys do it back in the day? And they talk about it, and then they actually reenact it for you, and they show like, okay, yeah, and so it's really cool. So it's fun, but it's also like educational, and I feel like I have such a better appreciation for movies and shows now that I have like an idea of how they do it all.
Yeah. Awesome.
That is cool.
Well. Hmm. All right. So I'll hop in now. And it seems like we're getting kind of away from gaming. But I'm going to kind of take it back to gaming just really quick, especially for anyone who's like one-on-one fighter fans. This is a guy I really recommend listening to, JM Cross. He talks a lot about all the fighting games that go on today. He's actually evidently one of the competitive online fighter players. And he's a big fan of like Capcom games, but he also branches out to the other ones. When I first started listening to him, I didn't really like him because I disagreed with a whole bunch of stuff that he said. And then at one point, he put out a video that I think he was going over like I think it was a ranking for Street Fighter games or something. And a lot of the stuff that he was talking about, I just kind of I totally saw eye to eye with him. And since then, I still there's things I don't agree with him on in the fighting games and fighting genre. But he definitely knows his stuff. And he definitely puts out some interesting things from, like broken characters, overpowered characters, difficult moves to do, to even things that like speculation on who's going to be the next characters that are going to be released for a game. And he's definitely in with a community of all the other um people that are doing other YouTubers that are also in the competitive world. So he crosses over a lot with them and he has matches with them. And out of all of those that are in that competitive world that do YouTube, he's really the only one that I've stuck with. So if you're just looking for information just on fighters that are coming up or on even past fighters or how to play fighters, he's one of the guys I recommend going to because he gives out good information and he makes it fun as well too. So it's not really like, I mean, you don't have to be like a big one-on-one fighter to appreciate what he does on his channel. He does get technical, but I don't think he gets too technical too much. He has the amount where he is technical, but then he also is pretty straightforward with it. So I definitely recommend him if you're into fighting games.
All right.
All right, Ben, what you got?
CGP Gray with an E.
Is it all one word?
You can make it all one word, yeah.
CGP Gray?
Yep.
All right, let's see what we get. This one?
Yep. These are these great videos where you can learn just like random facts. Like the one that's shown here is he talks about like how the numbers on runways mean what they mean and explains it to you. But he also does stuff like we just had a new pope. He has a whole thing of how to become pope. He has multiple videos on getting rid of the penny. He really wants to get rid of the penny. Is one that teaches you about how the electoral college works and how there's how there might be other alternate solutions. All kinds of stuff, and he doesn't come out and say this is the only way to do it. He just presents like these different arguments. One of the ones that are coming up here, when he was going over flags of the different flags around the world and flags in the United States, or he goes over the interstate highway codes, or it's just cool stuff where like if you ever wondered, I wonder how this works, I wonder how that works, he might have a video on it.
Mhm. It looks like he does it in the style of like those training classes that you take at like work with
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
So he's like an American who is a teacher in England.
Mm.
And that's all he's ever really talked about. He said like his students know who he is. Like they know that he makes these videos, but like he'll never like reveal what school he works for or his actual name. I'm assuming that CGP might be his initials,
Mm.
or the gray, who knows what that is? Maybe he likes Earl Grey tea. I don't know.
Well, it seems like his a lot of the artwork kind of has this gray tone to it.
That might be it too. Maybe the gray is the name of the character that represents him, his
Mm.
avatar. But yeah, you see there's all kinds of like talking about lockdowns. That's an older one. One of his videos that I liked was called Weekend Wednesday, which was about instead of taking both your days off in a row, you take one day off on one of the weekend days and you take another one off on like on Wednesday to break your week up.
Yeah.
And yeah, different ideas that he has and just or the race and how to win the Staten Island. Like there's no real rhyme or reason. It's just a bunch of random stuff that he researched and then put a video out on it. And his videos, they're pretty far apart. So like this guy doesn't do like a video like every week or every month even. Sometimes it goes months and months and months before you see another video from him. He's the only one where I have an email alert when he releases one because they're so infrequent. Like
So
I was talking about how infrequent the OSW is. CGP Grey can go a year.
the way you're describing him makes him sound kind of like the Cliff Clavin of YouTube.
If Flamin actually knew what the hell he was talking about, yeah. That's a good point. That's a good way to look at it. This guy, he does research. Like if you join his Patreon, like you'll see early stuff and you can like point out, say, hey man, this is wrong, and he'll go and he'll fix it.
Mhm.
Like he's like almost like really like almost anal about it, about being right on everything.
Yeah.
At the time the video comes out, because some of the stuff like is probably out of date just because it's now we're at 11 years ago.
Yeah.
Stuff's happened in 11 years. The Vatican City Explained one is interesting.
Mhm.
That one and How to Become Pope, they go together.
Gotcha.
So if you watch one, you just watch the other one to go with it, because one explains who the Vatican City explains that the Pope is the king of Vatican City, and How to Become Pope explains what he is for the Catholic Church.
Gotcha.
I'm just mentioning it because this is recent news. It happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
but yep, that's CGP Grey. He's kind of like one of those guys, like the people who do similar channels. They know who he is.
Mhm.
He's an inspiration for quite a few people.
All right, Barrett.
All right. So my next one is Brandon James Greer. That's Greer.
Okay, Brandon James Greer, Greer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what I can find here. Oh, there we go. Hopefully I got this one.
Yeah. So speaking of game stuff, this one I really like. This guy got his start doing kind of similar to what I do, right? In my just when I'm screwing around, it's just like little Pixar stuff, and then he got better and better, and he started then making these instructional videos on how to do pixel art. And then he started talking about, okay, well, why do they even have pixel art? You know, like why didn't old games have that, right? And how did it work? And so he started to incorporate that history also in the videos. And now he's actually taken all that experience and he made his own indie game. You know, now gonna come out in like another month or so.
Nice. Do you know what the name of the game is?
I don't remember offhand. It's yeah, I have it saved on my Steam, but I don't know if it's Steam on my laptop here. But if anyone watches his videos, you know, they'll see because he'll plug it at the end of the video.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see what he puts out. Especially because we know that a lot of pixelated type games, like definitely 8-bit and 16-bit era still big with me.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. It because he did preview it in a previous video, and it seems really nifty.
Mhm. Gotcha. Awesome. All right. So the next one I'm gonna go ahead and talk about here is, and I'm surprised this one hasn't come up because I'm sure like you guys have to be familiar with this one. Is Secret Galaxy.
Oh, thank you for hitting Secret Galaxy. That was actually on my list, but if you're gonna do it, I have other ones, so it's perfectly fine.
It's okay. I've got tons, so we got a long night ahead of us. Secret Galaxy. I like this guy because he is like the Guru Larry, but more in the 80s and early 90s, and even I think a little before that too. Pop culture, children's type of interest.
Yeah, he goes over the review. He reviews the history of like all these shows that like we grew up watching. Like I watched the one about Sliders, and that got me looking into like, okay, it's what where can I stream Sliders? Apparently, it's on Peacock.
Mhm.
So
The one that caught my attention and was the first one I saw of his was he was talking about The Last Starfighter. So he gets into those that are big names and somewhat small names, but are niche titles. Like I was a big fan of like Cops, this cartoon Cops, and he covered that. So he jumps on a lot of stuff that you'll remember as a kid, and he'll just break down everything about it, how it was done, what happened with it, what sort of issues there were, and so forth. So it's a really awesome channel, really informative channel if you haven't checked it out.
yeah, no, it's a good channel.
Mhm. All right, then.
All right, we're gonna go. Shoot, I had one in mind. I think you might have used the one I was gonna use. I think you did. 'Cause I actually was gonna go into yeah. Oh, I got another one. Oh, Council Wars.
Console Wars.
Yeah.
Uh, Okay, 1 second. And here it comes. I think if it takes my Console Wars right here.
Yep. Okay. So
Oh, yes.
uh, these two guys, they're from New Jersey. They basically one of them is Nintendo and the other one's Sega, and they take titles that or showed up on both systems, or as they have to comparable titles on both systems, and they basically have a competition to see which one is better.
Mhm.
Is it going to be Sega? Will it be Nintendo? And every week it's different. Basically there used to be it started off with, one of the guys, Dan, he's been with it since day one, but he used to have a different co-host, and then he left the show, like, 3 or 4 years into it, and then he
Mm,
picked up this guy, Pat, who he's been doing the show with since, and, it's just I literally like, my job when I worked in retail, my last retail job, I literally, like, would sit there and just watch episode after episode of Console Wars while I was waiting for customers.
mhm.
'Cause they're just perfect length. They're only like, you could do it in like 20 minutes, you could do an episode. And you can stop it at any time. It's not like, you're gonna miss anything. This is stuff like you're not studying the great writers of history here. If you miss a minute of it, you're not gonna be lost. Uh,
I've seen I think a couple of them, and I like how they do it because they do it in that whole like 90s like guys hanging out style.
yes. And it's always like one of them says something and the other one's like, "Oh yeah, that reminds me of Shaq Fu. I used to hate playing that." So because some of them they do instead of which one's better, which one's worse,
Mhm.
and those are fun too. So like Shaq Fu, I'm sure I think I saw it, and I think that one was which one had the worst version of Shaq Fu, and that's when they go and actually review the other guy's game pretty much and talk about how much better the other guy's game is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun if you grew up during the time or if you have an opinion either way, or if you're looking into the 16-bit war of the 90s. This covers it. They do a little bit of 8-bit, once in a while, and once they'll pick up each guy picks up their respective 8-bit counterpart and,
Mhm.
and represent, but, most of the time it's 16-bit.
I would also say that even if you're like not into like consoles all that much, just if you remember back in the 90s, hanging out with your buddy on the couch and just kind of like in a way kind of trash talking or just kind of ragging on each other about their choices and everything, but in a good fun way. This
Another sub-series I see over here is What's the Difference? That's a sub-series that Dan does because he's the showrunner. Like he edits the video. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure he does like most of the stuff behind the scenes, and he does this show called What's the Difference? That usually corresponds when they're doing one of their episodes. Like this one here for Samurai Showdown is between Sega CD and Sega Genesis, and right around this time they were probably also recording the one that would put the Genesis one up against the Super Nintendo one.
Mhm,
And it's just, a companion to, like, those episodes where there's other versions that they can compare.
mhm.
So, yeah, it's a good show. I do highly recommend, if it hits you. We should only do a couple more. I think we should do a sequel to this segment 'cause, we're moving along in time here, and we got 2 movies to review.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Why, why don't we finish off with Barrett and then we can do part two, like maybe in a couple months.
Yeah, I had a feeling that there are gonna be a lot of them. So,
Yeah.
'cause I haven't even, like, talked about, like, yeah, there's people I haven't even talked about. Like, one of them is one of the biggest YouTubers out there, and I haven't even talked about him yet.
Oh, and I know who you're gonna talk about, and I'm so looking forward to that one. And you know I am.
Oh, I don't know if we're talking about the same person now. We'll have to wait till next time.
Oh, and we will. Okay, maybe we're not, but we'll find out. All right, Barrett, you got one more?
Okay, sure. Yeah. So this is called How to Make Everything.
How to make everything?
Yeah.
Okay, just one
And
second. I'll have it up.
it's a really nifty YouTube channel where it's this guy and he started at the beginning when he founded his YouTube channel, and he started at the most basic level technology of just digging like stuff out of the ground and whatnot and whittling, using stone to whittle wood into like certain types of tools. And then slowly, as he figures out how to make certain things, then he says, okay, I've upgraded my technology. And then he'll utilize that in further projects. And the idea is to go from ancient times as close to now as he could get. Obviously, he's not going to be making a smartphone on his house and stuff.
Yeah.
But he has come a long way. Like you see in some of that thumbnail there, like he's made uh fairly modern things. Like I think that was a recent video where he was talking about the precursor to guns, like in ancient China, where they had bamboo sticks and they filled them with gunpowder. And so, he's gotten to that point, and it's really nifty. Like all the videos are very in depth, and they explain like exactly how to make this stuff, and like he talks about like what the challenges were and like how feasible it actually is for a regular person to do, and yeah, very fascinating stuff.
Mhm. Hmm.
There's some people that I know who probably love this channel if they don't already look at or they aren't already subscribers.
Nice, interesting.
The Power of a Dog. How to harness the power of a dog. I love that.
So one thing that I didn't expect with this topic that I'm seeing is happening, which is really awesome, is I was kind of expecting we're all going to come here and like, oh, I listen to this person because they're funny, or they're fun to listen to. But the stuff that we've actually gone over here is actually like we're watching more informative stuff, and
Yeah.
I haven't even like hit like politics or gadgets. Like the gadget channels are the ones I'm gonna hit next. Politics, I might not hit those at all because maybe we should just stay away from that. But anybody who's listening to this show on a regular basis, they can probably guess some of the channels that I listen to. It's
why don't we go through just one more each that's something different than what we've discussed already, and then we could still do a part two.
So you want it to be like totally different, or
Totally different.
okay? Well then, okay.
I got something totally different that I'm gonna throw out right now. And that's this channel right here. The Samurai Guitarist. I've been watching a lot of music channels recently, just talking about instruments. And I'm one of those people that I've always believed that a good player can make a crappy instrument sound better than a bad player that spent thousands of dollars on a high quality instrument. And this is another guy that I don't always like agree with what he says, but he says some really good stuff. He knows his stuff, and I like that he takes a lot of he's got videos where he takes like different types of guitars. Like he did this one section where he was talking about crazy guitars like the 10-string guitar. He brought in a Mando guitar, all these different styles of guitars, and evaluated them and kind of talked about what you could do with them and what you and you know what his issues may be with them. He does a lot of things like gadgets as well too, that he gives his overall impression on, you know, if you should get them, if you shouldn't. But his videos are a whole lot of fun to just even watch. So if you're looking to kind of if you're wanting to get into guitar, and looking to get something, or even if you've been playing for 30 or 40 years, he's one of those people I think you can get still a lot of information out of the videos that he releases. And he does also have his own instructional videos as well too that you can look into. So it's one of those, if you want to get into guitar, I'd say check out his channel. If you're already in guitar and you just want to kind of get information on things you could add to the experience or more information, check it out.
Cool.
All right. Ben?
Road Guy Rob.
Road Guy Rob.
Yep.
Okay. And here we go.
So this guy, he goes around the country and he looks at interesting road setups, or how it, like one of them, like he went to a town and he actually did a series of videos in this one town where he really liked how they're just the layout of the whole town was streetwise. He's been up to Connecticut. Yeah, I think he's been to California. He's going all over the country. And anytime that anybody has like like a new setup, or maybe they built a new really expensive bridge, or he just wants to show two different ways of doing something, he'll go and actually like get footage of it and show it. And he gets recognized too when he's out there sometimes. Like people, they know who he is. And, yeah, like, you see right here, the Tesla going down California's most zigzaggy street. Like, he'll go to that street where they got the lines drawn like that, and he'll talk to somebody to explain to him why the street is done like this, you know? Like, you actually learn, like, you learn, like, what these engineers look at,
Hmm.
and you like, the secrets of traffic, and how so much is learned, and how basically you'll learn enough where you could drive down the roads in your neighborhood and maybe get pissed off that they're not following some of this stuff. You know, it's like it's very interesting, and there's no ads. And he'll talk about that. Like he'll put like fake ads on, and he'll just be like, "No, there's no ads, thanks to you and the rest of my Patreons." And that's his that's pretty much his ad, is he wants you to join his Patreon.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I don't. I don't know if I should. I don't watch it enough, I don't think.
Awesome.
But this is another one of those where, like, it's like the grave videos where you could just, like, put these on and you can learn so much about, well, in this case, highways, but we use them every day,
Yeah.
these roads, you know?
Uh-huh. Hmm. Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Barrett, one more. Did we lose you, Barrett?
Yeah. Okay. So my last one is called "This Aged Great."
This aged great.
Yeah. And it is just a couple of buddies, and one buddy is like a younger guy. He's like, I don't know, 23 or something. And there's just like the vast majority of movies, he's never seen them. So then the older buddy introduces him to this movie. But it's just a brief, like he gives a brief synopsis, like anywhere from like 3 to 10 minutes about the movie. And then for us, for the audience, he'll splice in footage of it, right? But the buddy that he's talking to doesn't get to see that footage. And so all the buddy has to do is go on the guy's explanation. And he purposefully explains it in the most like obtuse way to make it super, super funny. And so imagine if you had to describe, for example, like Weekend at Bernie's, but you couldn't be literal. You couldn't give it direct, right? You had to like do a roundabout, weird way to try to like give a convoluted explanation. That's kind of what this guy does to like trip his friend up. And it ends up being super hilarious.
Gotcha.
I think I watched one of these videos because after we did, was it Ernest Goes to Africa? I think their review of it showed up on my feed.
Oh yeah.
I saw a review.
There it is right there.
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this one out.
Yeah, this one seemed pretty good.
Yeah. All right. With that, that would be the first part of this, and maybe in a couple months we'll just revisit YouTube and hit some more of the channels that we didn't get to go over this time.
Yeah, including like one of the biggest YouTubers in all of YouTube.
The BM.
We didn't even mention the BM show. I can't believe.
Exactly. So, but definitely thank you, Barrett. I don't know if you want to stick around, Barrett, for the reviews of the terminal.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Long before I gotta start work.
Yeah, exactly. And you're also welcome to join us, of course, for if we do this again, the second part of it.
Oh yeah.
So
And then Barrett, am I going to see you next week?
Most likely.
Cool. Yeah, we haven't met yet. I've met Matt so many times. I've driven his car.
I almost left Ben at Matt's house.
I wish we got that on video. That would have been good.
Yeah. So thank you, Barrett, for joining us. And yeah, hopefully we can see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, Ben. So we got a couple movies to do.
Yeah, you know what I'm just noticing is that YouTube channel where the movie that the second movie, the Animal Chin movie, where it's being shown. I think it's the person is related to the guy or woman who directed the film. So they might actually own the rights. Which means you could do a show, you might get in trouble.
Okay.
So maybe just show a trailer or something. You have to do it because I don't have control over it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I have to share it. Okay.
So we're going to do the terminal first, or we're going to do Animal Chin first?
Let's go ahead and do the terminal.
Okay.
All right. Let me go ahead and bring up the terminal. Just do a terminal trailer.
Yeah. That works. Try to find the longest one you can, because it's so that we don't have to keep resetting the video.
Okay. Yeah, here I don't care. I'll just repeat it.
Okay.
We'll do that route, and we'll probably get ads here and there, but that's how it goes.
That's the way love goes.
Yep. So I'm just waiting for the first ad to end. Oh, you know what? I'll start sharing my screen right now. Where is it? Okay, there we go. Where is it? It's this one here. Okay, there we go.
You ready?
Yep, it's off and running.
Okay. The Terminal is a 2004 comedy drama directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks as Victor Navorsky. Victor is stranded at John F. Kennedy International Airport after a coup in his home country of, I am not even going to try to pronounce that, leaves him without a valid passport, forcing him to live in the terminal. The film explores themes of resilience, hope, and human connection, and Hank's performance received a lot of praise. The movie holds a 61% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you have to go first, or you want to go first?
I'll go ahead and go first. You get to go first on the next one. And I believe that Kazakhstan was his country.
No, it's like Krazaxia.
I guess I don't remember it too well either.
Yeah, I'd have to practice it and hear somebody else pronounce it. I can't do it.
Okay, so first thing I need to mention about this movie that's actually kind of funny is that my mother wanted to see this and invited me and Maria and my dad to go see this in a theater. My mom is well known for not getting names right. So her comment was, "Hey, are you interested in going see that movie, The Terminal Man?" And I sat there and I'm like, something tells me that we're not talking about the same movie. But ironically, what I just found out recently was that this movie is based off of a book, off of the events, and the book just actually happened to be named The Terminal Man.
Oh,
So I don't know how I feel about this now because when my mom says, I like that movie, The Terminal Man, it sounds like it's not what it is, but she's actually got it right. So that's a little bit interesting. Now, my feelings on the movie. This is a prime example of why I think Steven Spielberg should stick with like sci-fi movies. I don't I'm not now to make it clear, I'm not saying this movie sucks.
mm.
I think that it's just done. It's a genre that I don't think he's really good at doing. So it comes off as just kind of cheesy and lifeless at the same time. And there's humorous parts like where there's the guys watching people slide on the water, on the wet floor. Other parts that are supposed to be funny, but they're not. Um, I think I laughed like once in this movie, even when we watched it again because it'd been so long since I've seen it. But there's like all these attempts are supposed to be funny that they don't feel it. And the fact that, and then I'm also curious what actually is, how much of this is truly based on a true story, which I'm probably going to say only the fact that the guy was stuck in the terminal. Everything else I'm sure is just totally fictitious, especially with this lady here. And the fact that this guy all of a sudden asks her out and like 5 minutes later, they're getting married. It's absolutely ridiculous in a way.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're going into this wanting to find out like what happened to this guy for real, don't bother because it's definitely not accurate. I mean, it's not accurate to the point where this isn't even the correct country. I believe the guy was stuck in France. But if you're looking for something that maybe you're just going to sit there and not really worry too much about, that you're getting some cheesy drama, comedy, slice of life, whatever style that is trying to be like, wholeheartedly fun, you can watch this. It's not going to be the best movie that you watched, but you can watch it and you'll get through it. And that's really my feelings on this. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to you, Ben.
Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks have done many, many, many projects together. They did Saving Private Ryan. They did this movie. They did Catch Me If You Can. There's so many movies that they did together. And it really feels to me as if this movie, okay. One thing they did right in this movie is could feel how long he was staying at the terminal because this movie at times just dragged the hell on,
Mhm.
lingering too long in scenes. that they don't need to linger on. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this is Steven Spielberg just trying to give you the feeling that the character's having of how everything just takes forever.
Mhm.
But that's what it felt like. Which, if that's what they're trying to do, bravo, you have gotten it done.
Mhm.
But I don't think that's what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to keep a good pacing. Um, the movie I was thinking about was what's the one where he's Castaway. Castaway, I hated that one because it felt like a 2-hour commercial for
FedEx.
FedEx because he delivered the package at the end. In this one, uh, it was not that it's a horrible movie. It's not. It's just I think I'm just tired of Tom Hanks working with Steven Spielberg.
Mhm.
But
I I think the best way to say it's not a horrible movie, it's just there and it exists.
and it's like it's when I remember my first memory of watching a Tom Hanks movie other than the movie Big is when I watched him in Forrest Gump, and to me, he felt like a completely different person.
Mhm,
Like, he did such a good job. I'm like, "This is my favorite actor now."
mhm.
And but now it's like he's become so big, I I don't call him Victor in this movie. He's just Tom Hanks acting like a foreigner.
Yeah.
It's just Tom Hanks. It's always Tom Hanks. And it's I think that kinda takes me out of it. I almost wish they had somebody who wasn't so well known playing this Victor character, because I think I probably would have had an easier time falling into the character,
Mhm.
because, like, every time I look at it and I'm about to fall for the character, I'm like, "Oh, shit, it's just Tom Hanks."
Yeah.
It's Tom Hanks, who I've seen a million times in a million different other roles. And, yeah, it's just got this, like, there are I don't wanna say it's lazy, because it's not. I just think that maybe in the writing it is, because it's just not hitting it. It's one of those movies too where you feel like you're supposed to like it, and I don't hate it, but if somebody went and said, "Hey, man, would you, rather go get McDonald's or sit here and watch The Terminal?" I'm like, "Well, let's go get McDonald's."
It feels like the way you say that, it feels like it checks all the boxes to classify as a movie that should hit its mark,
Yeah, but
but
it doesn't.
it doesn't.
And it's nobody's fault. It's not that it's badly acted or anything. It's just, and like I said, I think it has to do with the fact that Tom Hanks is just so big of a star,
Mhm.
it's hurting the movie,
Yeah.
because you don't see Victor, you see Tom Hanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're wondering, why isn't Tom Hanks talking like a normal person?
Mhm.
Why is it doing this stupid accent? He knows how to speak English.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Uh, and like, it's well acted. But yeah, that's the problem. So those are my 2 big problems, I guess. The movie seems like the pacing is off, it's too long, and Tom Hanks takes me out of the story,
Mhm.
because I know if he's just so recognizable.
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine Zeta-Jones, I had to be told that's Catherine Zeta-Jones. I didn't know that was her,
Mhm. Yeah.
because she's not in a million movies that I've seen. So
So could we say at this point Tom Hanks just plays Tom Hanks in every movie at this point?
not that he plays Tom Hanks, he is Tom Hanks.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Because he is a good actor, but he's also been in so many movies and so many TV shows and then so many everything else.
Mhm.
I'm hearing about him on the news, not recently, but like Tom Hanks, hey, gave his opinion on the election. Like, I give 2 flying F's of what Tom Hanks has to say about the election.
Mhm.
Go please Forrest Gump. Go do a movie.
So another little fact that I wanted to throw out here is that another thing that I found out, this movie, not only does it take place in according to the real story, does it not take place in the right country, but in this movie, there's a lot of Burger King that's represented.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna mention that. There's a lot of ads, especially because 'cause you're in the food court, and I understand you're gonna have to show the food court. You can't strip it out of all the branding, but how much Burger King are they gonna show in this movie? He goes to Burger King over and over and over again.
Here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing is that in the real events, from what I read off of like Wikipedia about the real events, he would be a frequent customer. I think it took place in France at the McDonald's in the terminal.
And they probably couldn't get McDonald's to put the money up to be in the movie.
Exactly. Or Burger King just decided we want to be the ones in it so that we can get the, publicity and whatever we have to pay.
I haven't been to JFK in, like, decades, so I can't tell no, actually, no, it's there a decade ago. So, alright, so I haven't been there in a decade. I can't tell you what restaurants they have in their terminal. Maybe they have a Burger King. Maybe you were trying to be realistic and they had to stick with what was there, but the amount of time that Burger King got shown, Burger King paid them a lot of money to be
Oh,
in
yeah.
this movie.
I just think it's funny that instead of being the actual one that he went to, it was their rival, like their biggest rival.
But that's happened before.
Yeah.
Like, was it Domino's was supposed to be what the Ninja Turtles ate, but Burger King or not Burger King, I gotta say Burger King, Pizza Hut went in at the last minute and offered all the money so that they could be the sponsor of the movie, even though Domino's is in the movie or something like that. Like, or Nike has the Nike Center outside of the Olympic Games, even though Reebok is the official sponsor. It's like
Yeah.
there's always companies swooping in and grabbing this stuff at the last moment, and sometimes it makes it like it doesn't make as much sense because of it.
Mhm.
Like, 'cause you would think McDonald's would be at the JFK International Airport, being that it's the biggest airport in the country, at least it was at the time.
Mhm.
I think O'Hare is bigger now, but yeah. Actually, I
So
don't know what the biggest airport is right now. I used to. Sorry, go ahead.
so let's just jump into and so you can get to the next one. So what would you say? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, but not an enthusiastic one. There's just like it's not a bad movie. Oh, and something they missed a great joke they could have done at the end because this is a comedy, even though there's certain it doesn't feel like it at times. This is a comedy. Um, he's supposed to go see that blues singer so he can get that autograph.
Mhm.
Why didn't because I was thinking about this the entire time, like, what is well, he's gonna make it to the blues singer, and it's gonna be that black security guard, that was his night job, and he just became a security guard after he retired from jazz. That's what I would've done.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be funny? He goes through all this stuff, and the entire time he coulda just asked the security guard to get his autograph.
Well, he would have known because he had the picture of the person, so that one
Yeah, he had a picture of the person from when the guy was young.
true. If
And the security guy, his age, he could have been realistically could have been the person he was looking for, just older now. And he retired from jazz, joined whatever security does at the airport, joined airport security, and got up to the rank of being first lieutenant or whatever his rank is.
Mhm.
And he could have been the guy. And I think that would have been hilarious. We could have been like the entire time, the guy you were looking for was right there.
But that would also have validated the enemy in this
That
because
made no fucking sense. Why did he go and have this blown up his ass to the point where he even fucks with his personal life?
yeah,
It's like, dude, you should be trying everything you can to help this guy out, but all you're trying to do, you try to get him arrested. You try to set him up.
mhm,
And everybody likes him except for you.
yeah.
Everybody.
I think that's a standard look. The outlook of work nowadays is I want to do whatever I can to not have to do whatever I have to.
Yeah, but no, you're going out of your way to make somebody's life harder.
Yeah,
They hired somebody to do the carts, so he can't collect the money on the carts anymore. I'm like, "This is a free employee. Are you
yeah,
kidding me?
exactly.
You're doing this out of spite because it's not out of business. It sure as fuck ain't out of business."
Hmm. Yeah.
I would love this guy. I'd be like, "Dude, I'm gonna try everything I can to get you out of here, but in the meantime, you do this for me and you do this for me, I will hook you up." He wouldn't have needed that little guy who came around with the food cart. That whole sub story wouldn't have happened if I was there. If I was running the damn place, he would have been my employee of the year because I would have paid him shit and had him doing all kinds of work for food.
Mhm. Very true.
You would have made him a slave? Yes, I would have made him a fucking slave. He was in the power to do that. God damn, you could have made that could have made him the bad guy. You needed a bad guy, you made the bad guy where "Oh, dude, you're doing all this work for me? Here, I got some more work for you to do. You're doing a great job. I'll be back here tomorrow with some lunch for you."
Mhm.
and you pay him in food and you basically turn him into a food slave. They could have done that, but he didn't. Instead, he just makes them spiteful and do stupid little things to just make the guy's day harder.
So let me jump in with my opinion, and I'm actually going to go back to your opinion because you gave it a thumbs up, but with a whole bunch of reasons why you basically be cautious. I think this is the first time we should initiate a new type of thumb instead of just up and down. Let's have a thumbs mediocre, which is right in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that best describes this movie.
Yeah. Like, if you want a Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg movie, there's better movies to pick.
Yeah.
If you want one that's like this type of style, Catch Me If You Can. It's even got a similar intro. You can tell that I don't know if they did this before or after they did Catch Me If You Can, but they definitely had that like in their head that they wanted to do. They wanted to keep that energy going. I know the story is different, but they want to keep that energy of Catch Me If You Can, which they don't, because it's not. It's not a cat and mouse. It's a
It's a family movie.
it's a family movie about a really nice foreign guy that gets stuck in an airport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody likes them except for one person, and there's no real reason why this one person is supposed to hate him.
Yeah.
You can hate him for the situation he put you in, but he's not a bad guy, and he treats him like this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think they missed a good joke to have the black security guard be the jazz singer. I think that would have been, because it would have made the whole movie pointless.
Yeah.
I would have laughed my ass off.
Well, it already feels like it is, but All right. So anything left with this one, or should we move to the next one?
I think we're ready to move to the next one.
Okay, let me bring that one up. Let's see if there is a trailer for this one. I guess there is. Well, we're just gonna throw it up and see what happens. Here it comes.
Well, we could show the trailer. It's just that the people, Peralt is the Stacy Peralt is the
Yeah,
director.
I don't know if it was the trailer or not.
It is a trailer.
It is trailer. All right, so go for it. What do you got on information on the search for Animal Chin?
Alrighty. The Search for Animal Chin is a 1987 skateboarding film directed by Stacy Peralta and features the Bones Brigade team, including Tony Hawk, Steve Caballera. Oh, somebody's going to murder me for this one. Steve Caballero and Mike McGill. The film blends a narrative storyline with skateboarding sequences, making it a pioneering piece in skate cinema. The plot follows the team's quest to find the mythical skater Animal Chin, and it became a cult classic in skateboarding culture.
Go for it.
Okay, so about 10, 15 years ago, I digitized all my grandfather's home videos that he made with his camcorder, and there was a time when he let my cousin, my younger cousin Steven, use this camcorder. And Steven and his friends were really big into skateboarding. They probably saw this movie. And they were recording themselves skateboarding, along with partying and whatever else, just hanging out that they were doing. And that's what this feels like.
Mm.
This feels like they just there's like, hey guys, we got all that footage of us skateboarding. Maybe we should do something with it. Hey, let's record a movie around it. Let's just come up with a story and we'll spend 2 minutes on recording new footage and put it together. It feels like an excuse for somebody to use their home videos of them and their buddies skateboarding and turning it into a movie. It's lazy. Is it bad? Not necessarily. Is it good? No. It's just there.
Mhm.
And if you are into Tony Hawk and you want to know some of the history of skateboarding, maybe you'll get something out of this, but probably not. They don't even find this Animal Chin guy. I hate to ruin the end of the movie, but they don't find him. They just have a good time, and they say that's the whole point of everything, was to have a good time.
Mhm.
It's just, even the ending is disappointing. As if you found out that your son devoted his entire life to skateboarding and was getting nowhere with it. That's what this movie feels like.
Yeah.
It's just a big disappointment. I was expecting it to be worse.
Mm.
I was actually hoping that this movie was gonna be so bad it was good, but it's just like I said, it's there. I felt like I was watching somebody's home movies of them and their buddies skateboarding.
Mhm.
So, go ahead.
Okay. So this is like okay, so I'm just gonna say that yes, this is a bad movie. It's like the Stand By Me of skateboarding movies. And I think they went into this without any sort of a script to begin with. They were just rattling off whatever they wanted to say. The biggest part that cues me in on this is there's a scene where there's a guy where he goes, "Oh man, what was it? I ganked my knee, I twanked my wrist, I begees my shoulder." Right at that point when he said I begees my shoulder, I knew he had no idea what he was talking about. He was just starting off the first words that came to his mind.
Mm.
And that's essentially it's completely sloppy, it's completely raw, and I think that they wanted it to be this way, but I don't think it ends up being a good move. However, I will say, and I think you were kind of getting close to this aspect of it, was I think this is the kind of movie where you're gonna be sitting with your buddies on the couch, it's gonna be a boring Sunday afternoon, and you're gonna be like, "Hey, I got this movie, Animal Chin. Is it cool if I put it on?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, that's cool." And you put it on, you get about 20 minutes into it, and then there's gonna be the one guy that's gonna be like, "Oh, you guys like this?" And the other guy will be like, "Oh, it's okay." And then you'll be like, "Well, I could put something else on." And then they're responding, "No, dude, no, there's nothing else to watch. Let's just watch this." And then you're just gonna keep watching it. You don't have a reason to watch it, but you don't have anything else to do that is of importance to where you feel like you have to turn it off. And that's essentially when you talk about it's just there. Yeah, it's just there. It's obviously a lot of pushing, skateboarding. But they're trying to put some sort of story with it, and they don't really do it. And like you said, they never find Animal Chin, but they're also then trying to put some sort of moral to it as well, too, about oh, it's just important to enjoy the skateboarding that you do. And I kind of appreciate that, but it kind of feels pointless after all the stuff that I just watched. Now I will say a few things about there is a really good part in this movie with a really good actor that stands out, and that will be Johnny Rad. With Johnny Rad, okay, so first off, maybe I should mention this too. Um, well, Johnny Rad reminds me of Michael Keaton in just the way that he acts.
Johnny Rad now, is he the one who was like the club owner?
Yeah, he was the one that was doing the skateboard shuffle song, which if you listen to, I'm pretty sure he was making up the words on the spot to it.
Yeah, it's
And
kinda like that.
that was actually a pretty good scene because it was so over the top cheesy that it stands out above everything else in the whole movie. I thought it was funny because I guess the whoever the Powell Peralta, the whoever runs that is the first person I guess you see who's talking to his TV, and I'm like, dude, that's like Bill Pullman right there. So you got Bill Pullman, you got a guy that reminds me of Michael Keaton, and then you got the bouncer guy who reminds me of Jack Nicholson. Now I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second because I want to show something else that I thought was quite humorous about this movie, and let me just kind of go ahead and open it up. Um, so here we go. Let me go ahead and share this. So we want to share this for this. Okay. Can you see this?
Yes.
Here you have the Bones Brigade. And the Bones Brigade, who's in the Bones Brigade? You've got this guy here who is Daniel LaRusso. Then you've got this guy here who is Chainsaw.
Are these really who they are?
No.
Okay.
Then you have this guy over here, Tony Hawk, or is it Rusty Griswold? Or maybe it's Rusty Griswold.
Or maybe it's Rusty Griswold. Like 3 of them?
Yeah.
4 of them.
Then you've got this guy over here, which is the basis for Green Day. And then finally have this guy here who we all know is AC Slater.
Wake me up when September ends.
I'm telling you. So I was watching them like, dude, that's exactly who they remind me of, each one of them. So, would I, let me go back to sharing the movie, which we've already seen 50 million times. I mean, would I recommend watching this if you're really, really, really bored? I wouldn't even really recommend it if you're into skateboarding. Especially probably because it'd be out of dated anyway. But it's just it doesn't do anything. It's really just to show you tricks and stuff that you can do on a skateboard. But it's trying to put it as a movie with story, but the story never takes off.
I
So
would.
I would have to say, don't really bother. Thumbs down that one, unless you've got time to kill.
Yeah, I would say thumbs down in this as well. This one is just it's shit. It really is. There's better versions. If you're looking for a movie or for a video that's just about skateboarding, there's plenty of videos out there that are better than this. If you're looking for a movie, there's millions of movies that are better than this. There's nothing that there's no purpose that this fulfills.
Well, you also gotta figure at this time you had like what, Gleaming the Cube was out.
I mean, at the time, this probably did serve a purpose. This might have been some people's introduction to the skateboarding culture, and then for that, I get it. I'm talking about today.
Yeah.
There's no unless you are a skateboarding historian, maybe,
Mm.
there's no reason to watch this.
And I hate to put it this way because I'm not putting this attack on anything that you're interested in, Ben, but I feel like this is, in a way, the wrestling movie made by the wrestlers for the wrestling community. This is the same thing, but for the skateboarding community. I don't think if you get like a hardcore wrestling movie, like when you showed me the Hell in a Cell, me not being a fan, it just like it's not a big deal. I'm not something that's interested in it. And this is kind of the same thing. This is like if you're a skater, you'll probably be interested in it. But if you're not really gonna care at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm giving it a thumbs down as well. But yeah, but if I guess if you're into skateboarding, maybe check it out.
Mhm.
It's free
Yeah.
on YouTube, so
Yeah.
it's not like you gotta pay to watch it. But apparently they're selling a DVD that you could buy if this becomes, like, your favorite movie and you just wanna have the special edition DVD, it is available, I'm sure.
Which is funny because I actually have the DVD because there's special memories of it when I was in like in high school, and I had the coolest gym teacher. He's the one that did Brought Saves Christmas. He also brought this one time and was making a big deal of it, and we were just all cracking up and having a good time watching it because we knew it was going to be something that was be bad and pointless. So
Yes.
so that kinda made it fun. I do like, I don't know if you caught this in the beginning. I do like how they have all the symbols that are kinda like similar to the Chinese symbols, but if you look at them, it's a skater in like some sort of skating position, like doing a hand plant or jumping up in the air and or whatnot.
Hmm. Oh, that's cool to know.
Hmm.
Alright, are we ready to do are we done with this
I think we're done. Are we? Is that it?
I want you to look up The Simpsons.
Oh, I just unshared. Okay, look up, what was I'm looking up?
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons?
Simpsons.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Is it a
dun.
specific season?
Look up, like, new Simpsons. Current Simpsons, something along that line.
Are we gonna get in trouble for this one?
I hope not.
Oh, here we go. Simpsons season 35 trailer. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and get through the ad. Is this gonna be like a Ben does it that you don't have to, or is this gonna?
Oh, yeah, this is something so when you have something that you don't wanna do, well, Ben does it so you don't have to.
Wow, 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 wow. All right, let me go ahead and share the screen. Uh, and away we go.
So, I went ahead and checked out some newer episodes of The Simpsons. Now, anybody knows that The Simpsons have been on. This is from season 35. They're actually in their. They just finished their 36th season. I think their season finale might have been tonight, actually. Um, and it's gotten bad as time has gone on. As the show has definitely left its golden age, which was during seasons 3 through 8. Many people think might actually be 1 through 10. It depends on who you're talking to. And I heard that there were some better episodes, that the Simpsons were back and they're doing it again. They're doing the good episodes. So I watched the Treehouse of Horror for season 36, which was this past season, and it was weird. It was actually split up into 2 episodes. There was the actual Treehouse of Horror, and in the following week, they apparently revamped and redid Treehouse of Horror. And they even mentioned in the description that it's like another week of Treehouse of Horror. And it really looks like they have 2 writing teams because the one that actually falls on Halloween, the actual Treehouse of Horror, sucked.
Mhm.
The bonus Treehouse of Horror was good.
Hmm.
And both shows just had totally different feelings. The bonus one actually felt like it was a traditional Treehouse of Horror, where the one that was on the actual Treehouse of Horror episode just felt like it just felt different.
Mhm.
And I know that they're planning to kind of wrap this show up eventually. Now the word is they're going to wrap it up in the 40th season, and they moved it from Sundays to Wednesdays, which is usually what you do to a show that you're getting ready to get rid of. Um, I think that what they might have did is they might have brought some of the old writers back so that when they do end the show, they could end it with a bang.
Mhm.
At least what I hope. I hope they're ending the show. They end it with a fucking bang or not. I don't even give a shit anymore. Just put this thing to just kill it now. Is The Simpsons better than it was? I have no idea 'cause I didn't really like look into when The Simpsons were supposed to be the worst that they've ever been. Is it anywhere near what it was when The Simpsons first started? No. No, it's not. So my recommendation, if you got Disney Plus, stick to like the first like 10 seasons and the rest of it just probably don't even bother. But that's it. That's my review of modern Simpsons.
I think that's like that's a lot like everything else out there, especially like when I think of bands where they have like a there's like feels like a 4 album shelf life to them,
Yeah.
and it just becomes regurgitation because they've shot all their ideas and they get in this mold of this is how it's done, and it just keeps getting regurgitated with no sort of life. And with the season 36, I mean, there's just no way they have any more ideas at this point. It's just the same thing over and over, but it's selling.
Yeah, it probably, as long as it makes more money on advertising than it costs for them to probably make it, is probably enough for them to keep it on the air.
Yeah.
Um, they're gonna be hitting season 40 is what they've been extended to. In case you're wondering how many episodes they've done 700 plus episodes of the show.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Well, why stop at 40 seasons when you're so close to 1,000?
Yeah.
Why don't you just hit 1,000 episodes and then call it a day?" And then they'll hit the 1,000 and they're like, "But we're so close to hitting 50 years. Let's do 50." And then they'll do 50 and they'll be like, "We're so close to 1,500 episodes."
Mhm.
We should keep going. And it just never stops. It never goes away. It's
Yeah.
the never ending show.
It's like
This show's outlived people that I've known.
oh, yeah, and it's like the whole comic thing where Peter Parker was teenager or whatnot back when Spider-Man first appeared in the, early, I don't know when it was, 1930s or 1940. I don't even remember when it was now. He's still the same age. And the same thing's going on with the Simpsons. Why is they've been around for so long, Bart's still the same age?
Well, it's like when The Simpsons first started, Marge and Homer, when they did flashback episodes, they flash back to the 70s.
Yeah.
And now when they do flashback episodes, they flash back to the 90s.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden, like Homer and Marge, because they're supposed to be in their 40s,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so they're supposed to be the same age me and you are now, but they were the same age that me and you are back 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And and they're stuck. They can't make them any older now. It's
Yeah.
too long.
Mm-hmm.
Something they would have to have done years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that when they do hit their 40th year, they just end this and maybe or end it at a round number when you get to like episode 900 and just stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't do any spin-offs. Just let it die for a while. And I know how Disney is. They're gonna want to do some kind of spin-off or whatever. Give it give it some time to cool off. Give it 3, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Give it 10 years. I don't know. What if people get it when people are asking, geez, are they ever gonna do more Simpsons? Or do you remember The Simpsons? When you start hearing that, that's when they should do more.
Yeah.
But and then they could do Bart as a grown up or whatever the hell they want to do.
They should go up to episode 998 and stop there. Because that's gonna set off all the people that would be like, well, why don't you just go to 1,000? And that'll also set off all the people that would be like, well, why don't we just go to 999, one short and stop?
Well, that's like when Seinfeld ended after 9 seasons, and they're like, "Why don't you just do one more season and make it an even 10?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So
But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about was how I've been watching The Simpsons, and I've been watching the older ones too. I got the first 10 seasons now,
Mhm.
and they're pretty good. It's The Simpsons are the best
Mhm.
when they're the best. When The Simpsons are in like all firing in all cylinders, there's no better animated show out there. But the thing is, they haven't been firing all cylinders in a long time. Lisa the Boy Scout, I did enjoy that episode. That's from season 34. That one is, it's a clip show of ideas that have been rejected. Some of them, they went ahead and actually did animate them, and then some of them, they just kind of mentioned in passing. And it's supposed to be done like these two hackers are trying to destroy the Fox or they're trying to destroy the Disney company. By releasing all this stuff that they hacked from the Simpsons servers that they would the producers would never want to have shown.
Mhm.
And it's got stuff like the with Lenny and Carl, where Lenny's Carl's imaginary friend and stuff like that, or where Martin, the nerdy character Martin Prince, is actually like an undercover police officer with dwarfism,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And that was a good episode, but that's like it's so far and in between. Like there might be like one good episode per season.
Mhm.
When The Simpsons used to be one bad episode per season.
Yeah.
So how the turns have tabled.
Mhm.
I love listening. The turns have tabled. I forget where I heard that now, and I can't stop using it.
I'm done seeing The Simpsons play over and over again.
They have the FXX channel for people who have cable, and I know at one point that was just showing The Simpsons like nonstop. I used to just call it The Simpsons channel. I'm like, just call it The Simpsons channel. That's all you show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add with it?
No, that's it.
So next week's gonna be a big week. We've got the live episode, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, the 25th. And we will have another standard episode, which the topic for that one is going to be arcade memories.
And that's the one that we're going to record in the morning.
That's the one we'll record. Matt should be there. Hopefully Barrett will be there as well too.
Okay.
So I believe, unless you have any last words you want to say, Ben?
Nope.
Well, time to cut it. Have a good night, everyone, or good day whenever you watch this.
Later.